Hey guys, Joey Ryan Pool Player Podcast brought to you by Pool Scene 365. Thanks so much for watching. Today we have an interesting concept for you. It is a match reveal. I've been working with my buddy Chad Sholders in Colorado. He's been really trying to get this match going for a while, so you're going to hear all about it today. And I really want to hear your feedback, so make sure to hit up the comments. Curious who you like in this match. We're going to talk to Chad. He's going to introduce the players that he chose. We're going to hear from both players. And we have a little surprise guest, Molina Mike, coming in to give you his thoughts on the match. So guys, thanks so much for supporting the channel. Don't forget to subscribe. Also, you can grab some merchandise. I'll have a link below. And you can hit me up on my Patreon and really be a part of what we're doing here at Pool Player Podcast. So now on to the reveal. Hey, Chad, good to have you back, man. How's it going?
It's going great, Joey. How you been?
Oh man, I'm been great, and I'm so excited for this match announcement that you have going on. But first, you've been really busy, with Havoc Productions. You've been doing a lot of cool stuff. You have several sponsored players: Roberto Gomez, Danny Olson, Cash Lance, the junior player, and I saw that you recently announced Kelly Fisher as a sponsored player as well. So first of all, congratulations on that collection of talent.
Oh man, thank you very much. I've been working with Danny, and I've been working together for a long time, and Roberto was a great pickup, and I've got Cash has a huge future, but Kelly is she's just the utmost in professionalism, and I was so thrilled that she said yes to that offer. I've been courting her for a while and really excited about it. Thanks for bringing that up. I mean, it's a huge opportunity for Havoc to have her and to join the team.
So we have this match announcement today. I know you've been working on this for a while and you're pretty excited about it. I'm going to be involved. You're going to have me up and commentate. I really appreciate that. Tell us which player from your stable is going to be involved in this match.
Well, it's one I've been working on for months. You know that. And we got Danny Olson getting into action.
Awesome. So tell us a little bit about Danny.
Well, Danny's, I've known Danny since he's been I think I met him when he was 19 years old, maybe 20 at the time. I've watched his career develop over time, and we've become friends over that period. And he's just a beast of a player, and he's just a straight up champion rotation player. His break is unbelievable, and he puts in the work. And I've been but a lot of people in the industry know that I've been barking Danny's name for a little over a year now to get him a shot on that Mosconi team. He's had some really, really good runs in his career, and it's only just begun. So I'm thrilled for what he can do in the future. I'm thrilled for what he's doing now. I think he carries himself the right way, he plays the game the right way, and he has integrity and character, which is paramount to anyone that I work with. And so I'm just thrilled to get him into a game that I believe is going to be really, really meaningful for him over the course of the next year.
Awesome. Well, let's get to it. Who is his opponent going to be, and tell us why you selected this particular person? Well,
his name came up for me just the instant he was announced to the Mosconi team, and that's Chris Robinson. He's an up-and-coming talent that not up-and-coming anymore. He's just straight up proved himself in the Mosconi Cup this year. And the instant he was announced, I thought, man, Danny and Chris are really, really close in talent. They're really close in experience, and they're both great guys. And man, let's put them in the box and let's see what happens.
That's awesome. Well, before I bring the players in and we speak to them, tell us a little bit about the details of the match, dates, location, format, things like that.
No, thanks for asking. One of my good friends, one of your good friends, Tony Piazza, has just opened a new pool room in Aurora, Colorado, which is a suburb of Denver, Piazza Sports Bar. And he's agreed to host the match there over a 3-day period. I couldn't be more excited for him through this whole COVID pandemic and everything, for him to be able to get open. Maybe we can kick him off with a really, really big bang here, having Chris and Danny in for 3 days. It's going to be February 5th, 6th, and 7th. And these guys over 3 days are going to play a race to 100 10 ball. And it's just going to be an absolute battle, and I can't wait.
Nice. So let's go ahead and bring the players in. Okay, let's start with Danny. Danny, I have a few questions for you about this upcoming match. So Chad brought this idea to you about playing Chris Robinson. What appealed to you about this matchup?
Oh, a lot of things. First off, Chris is a great player, and he just got done playing on the Mosconi Cup, had a good performance, and I know he's a good guy too. I've seen him around a lot. I don't know him that well, but I know he's going to be a good opponent, so I'm just happy to play.
Awesome. So a couple years ago, you took second at the Super Billiards Expo to Mike DeShane. You've beat Shane McMinn for the money gambling. You've also beaten Jason Shaw recently in a virtual event. Do you feel that you haven't really gotten the recognition that you deserve at the pro level yet?
Maybe a little bit. It's kind of hit or miss. I mean, a lot of people know me, and a lot of people still don't. But that's just because I'm new, I think. So as soon as I'm playing more and years go on, that'll change. So.
Do you think a good performance in this match might help you get that type of recognition?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Just because Chris got done playing in the Mosconi Cup and he did good there. You know, if I happen to beat him, that would be obviously good for my recognition. But
what do you think are some of the keys for you to be successful in this match?
Oh, well, I mean, obviously I want to win. That's not really my number one goal, though. I just want to, it's a race to 100, right? It's 3 days, a lot of pool. I've never played that much pool. I've never played a race to 100. I've done like races to 40, but for me, this match, I think the main thing is staying focused during that whole time, I'm not sure it's going to be like 3 or 4 hours a day of pool, so I think whoever manages to stay the most focused over that period of time, keep their energy up, right mindset, is going to be the one that ended up winning, so.
Awesome. Well, thanks, Danny. I'm going to go over to Chris, but before I do, I want to wish you good luck in the match, and thanks for coming on and taking the time to talk to us.
Thank you.
Hey, Chris. Long time no talk, huh?
Yeah, it's been a while.
Your episode of your podcast just released, so it's good to talk to you again. Thanks for coming on, and I'm pretty excited about this matchup, and I think you probably are too. What do you know about Danny as a pool player and as a person, and why did you decide to take this challenge?
Yeah, I mean, I've only met Danny a few times. We only crossed paths a few times, but he's a really respectful dude, and he's got a lot of talent. He's young like me, so I think it'll be a great match, and I think we both represent the game really well. And I wouldn't have done it if I didn't think Danny was a good dude and a worthy competition for sure. So he's right up there, and he's a top pro, and I think it'll be a good match. And I want to thank you all for doing it. And also, it's hard because there's no really tournaments going on. It's any experience right now for me to test myself is good, and I can't pass up on the opportunity to play against a great player.
Yeah, you played really well at the Mosconi Cup in December, and I assume this will be your first significant test since then. What have you been doing since the Mosconi Cup, and what do you plan to do to prepare for this match?
Since Mosconi Cup, it was holidays and stuff, so, basically just family time and hanging out with friends a little bit, but, with the pandemic in California, it's really not a good fit for doing all that, so, just practicing a little bit and taking some photos, and that's about it. Just, I've been practicing, but in this upcoming month, I'm going to be hitting the practice table really hard for this match, so I'll be ready for sure.
Well, you're welcome to come out here to Phoenix. All the pool rooms are open, and I'll be happy to play you a couple cheap sets.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to play you after I saw you beat Nick in the bar box.
Come on, that's a bar box. If you could assess your game versus Danny, where do you think he might have a slight advantage and you might have a slight advantage? Have you given that much thought?
No, I don't really give that a whole lot of thought, because at the end of the day, if you get out when you're supposed to, and you're, if you're clicking on all cylinders, and you're just minimizing the errors that you make, there's not a whole lot your opponent could do, and of a race to 100, there's a lot of pool. And, when I played the Tyler match, I kind of took a lot of shots for granted, which actually turned into, more racks and more racks. So I think I'll be better prepared this time than when I was for my last race to 100. So that's pretty cool. But I'll be ready for it. And, I feel like he's a really good player and I'm a really good player. So it's really going to come down to the break. And I feel like we both have pretty good breaks. And it's just we'll see.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much, Chris, for joining, and Danny, thank you as well. I wish you both great, really good luck in this matchup, and I'm excited to be a part of it. So, Chad, thanks for including me, and let's go right to the predictions. All right, guys, you just heard from the players, and I figured this match was a close enough matchup, a really good matchup, that I really needed some reinforcements here. So I brought in my buddy Molina Mike. How's it going, Molina?
It's going good, buddy. How are you? How are things in Arizona?
Oh, man, it's good. The winter in Arizona, it's a beautiful time,
I can imagine.
Yeah. So this matchup, it's Danny Olson from South Dakota against Chris Robinson, fresh off the Mosconi Cup. What are your initial thoughts about that match?
I think it's great for the American landscape of pool. I think that Danny's one of the few players that can kind of put some heat under the guys who may be a little too comfortable at the top of the helm there in America. People don't really know a lot about him because he doesn't travel outside of South Dakota very much. He kind of stays in his bubble and in his comfort zone, and that's why most of the people may not have heard of him. Obviously, Chris is coming off of a Mosconi Cup where the Europeans obviously won, but for everybody with eyes, Chris stole the show. There's no two ways about it. Chris' performance was pretty lights out. Even though people maybe thought that he didn't belong there, he showed that he was pretty deserving after his performance, at least in my opinion. But Danny, there wasn't a lot of pool in 2020. But Danny just beat Shane McMinn in a 10-ball race, which I believe they're playing 10-ball here. Mm-hmm. It was a tight table, and I don't even think anybody in South Dakota liked Danny in that game because nobody wanted to go and bet on Danny. I did, and I did pretty good on that.
You had Danny in that one?
I had Danny against Shane, yeah. Okay. And you know what? The thing with Danny is that Danny's got a lot of heart, and you saw it whenever he played against Shane McMinn. Because he came back both those sets. I think it was like a race to 13 or a race to 15 or something, real short. But both those sets he was down late and came back and ended up winning. I think it was best 2 out of 3, and Danny ended up winning back to back. But it's going to be a good matchup. Chris is a buddy of mine, so but I try to keep my bias at the door. Danny's got a really good 10-ball break, and it's really underrated. I think that with the lack of things going on and Chris's popularity right now, I think it's a good opportunity for Chris to maybe say, hey, I belong in that conversation and being top American. The Mosconi Cup was no fluke. And if you're in Danny's position, I think Danny's got a real good, not just to go and make some money and play Chris and all that, but to kind of, put himself on the map. So I think there's a lot of things going on outside of just them two playing, I think.
Yeah, I think you bring up a really good point about the 10-ball break, because I know Chris has come through Phoenix a couple times. He played Nick DeLeon, one of our really good
one
of our really good local players here, and given up some games, and Nick's got an incredible 10-ball break.
Monster 10-ball break.
I say it's the best 10-ball break in Arizona, and I don't even think it's close. And so Nick won those matchups against Chris, but after the break, I think Chris plays better than Nick. But that break, and so if Danny's able to come with a really strong break like Nick did, it'd be interesting to see how Chris responds, if he's able to model that and break similarly. So
I'm curious to see like the format, because I mean it's huge. What size pockets are playing on? Because I mean a tighter table is going to go and not make Danny's break as powerful. I don't consider Chris a great 10-ball breaker. I just don't. I agree with you though. After the break, the kid's better than Danny right now for my money. But Danny's got a real like European, flavor to him. Nothing flashy. He just kind of takes what the table gives you. You know, very like Kiamko-esque or Rausuke or whatever. Just puts his hard hat on and makes the ball, comes one rail, and you know, nothing too fancy. But Danny can get it. I can tell you that Danny can get it, and Chris is going to be. I don't think Chris takes anyone for granted, but I think Chris is going to be in a battle in this match, and I'm looking forward to seeing the format because I think that's going to be real big.
Yeah. So what I can tell you, I think it's a race to 100 over 3 days, and.
Well, we saw what happened last time Chris was in a race to 100.
They both said that, super long race for them. I don't think Danny's ever played a race this long. And
not that I know.
It's going to be 10 ball. It's at a brand new place in Aurora, Colorado. Actually, a really good player owns this place, Tony Piazza. And it's going to be...
That might have been where Danny played Shane at then, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong.
No, this place just opened. It just opened, yeah. And Tony is kind of undercover, one pocket, really good player. He's probably going to kill me for saying that. but he's
way to blow his cover.
Yeah, he's a real good one pocket player. And so I say that to say the conditions are going to be conducive to pool players. He's not going to come out and have them play on ratty equipment by any means. I think it's brand new Diamond 9-footer. I just have to get the specifics on the pocket size.
Yeah, I mean 4.5 and 4 1/8 makes a big difference, especially when you talk about someone with a good break like Danny has versus someone who, doesn't break 10 ball very well in Chris. But I think that Chris has been playing a lot at Spencer's place, which that's his buddy in California, and they go. I don't know why he just likes punishment, but that kid plays on a practice on a 3 7/8 inch pocket out there.
I saw that.
So yeah, and I mean they play that game against the Ghosts all the time. So it really it's tough because it's good for practice, but at the same time it can kind of torture you some. So but you really have to stay hyper focused, and you cannot take any shot for granted, and you can't go and cheat them like you would, like a 4.5. So I think the format for sure is going to make a difference, but. And I don't know, as much of a buddy as Chris is, I don't know. I gotta go with Danny, man.
Oh, really?
I gotta go with Danny on this one. And 10 ball for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think? You think anybody will try to put a line on this? Or do you think it's pick 'em?
Oh, Chris is gonna be a favorite for sure.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I mean, it's not just that. For one, nobody's heard of Danny. Two, because of how strong Chris played at the Moscone. I think that's gonna factor in huge. Like when he played Shane, if you would see Danny go and play, if you would think that he's the favorite, but people just don't know enough about him. Don't see his game. They never get to go and see him play. So for betting purposes, I think that'll if you like Danny, you'll be able to get some games probably. But that's tough, man. I mean, the last time we saw Chris play a race to 100, he was in it day 2 with Tyler. And then the last day, Tyler just ran away with it and just, slaughtered him. So, but I like that format. I think the better player ends up winning. And I don't know. I can't see Chris fading that break, and I don't think Danny don't get starstruck. Danny's just there to do his thing. And, Danny makes balls and Danny gets out.
Yeah. All right, Mike. So it sounds like you think Chris is going to be the favorite, but I think you're going to go with Danny in this one. And I think I'm going to go with Chris in this one. And, for the reason that he just came off the Moscone Cup. So if it comes down to a scenario where it's all about confidence, which pool is so often, right? It's a mental game and how you're feeling about how you're playing rather than how you're playing. I think Chris is going to be ready to go, and I think he's going to play well. But I do think it's going to be a close match.
I'm going to say this. There's a few people that I got a real ton of respect for when it comes to handicapping. I'm not going to mention any names, but Chris's backer is one of those guys that really knows pool and is someone that I look to get his opinion on matches. If you gamble in pool, or then you know who he is. But he's backing Chris in this match, and he's usually really smart with his money and knows how to pick him pretty good. So that kind of has me a little worried, but I'm like you. I think it's going to be a great match. I'm really looking forward to it. American pool needs it to go and happen, because Danny's going to show up, and Danny's going to, let people know that he deserves to be in that conversation, and he does, because he's that good of a player. He just needs to, get out of home every now and then.
Yeah, and it kind of reminds you of a matchup of two Europeans, right? These guys are clean-cut kids. They seem to do the right thing, probably eat the right thing, work out.
Yeah, for sure.
And they're good players, so I'm excited to see it. And this is exactly the type of match I want to be a part of, just because of their reputation and who they are, right? We know they're not going to do anything out of line, and it's going to be, two respectable kids. So, Mike, thanks again for coming on. I really appreciate getting your perspective.
My pleasure, buddy.
I love hearing your thoughts on a match, and especially when you reveal who you're going to bet on, because maybe I'll make some money on it.
Good luck, buddy.
Thank you. So, Chad, I'm assuming that you're going to go with your guy here. Is that who you like in this one?
I got to tell you, there's a lot of penciling in this match, but I'm obviously going to take my guy. I'm going to pick him, and I wouldn't have put him in this match if I didn't think he could win. That's not to say that Chris isn't an absolute monster of a player. He's proven himself, and now it's time for Danny to do the same. I got to tell you, this might be the second race to 100 or better in recent memory that's gone hill. It could actually be that close. I really believe these two players have a talent level that is so incredibly close. That's why I wanted the match. I want to get Danny on the map. I want to see him play the champions, and I want people to be able to see what he can do. And so I'll take Danny by a hair. How about that?
Hey, I like it. And you know what? I kind of agree with you. I think this is going to be a super close match. Maybe another hill match. Wouldn't that be incredible? I don't think it'll be quite the comeback that we had in that Shane Dennis match. If it was, that would be amazing. But I do agree that this is going to be a super tight match, very evenly matched from what I can tell, from what I've seen of both of these players. And honestly, I think I give maybe a slight advantage to Chris, because coming off Mosconi Cup, we saw it with Tyler Steyer. We've seen it with other players over the course of the Mosconi Cup, where just competing in that event makes them a ball better. And Chris already played, like some of the matches that Chris has lost in these big matchups that he's played, the problem has been kind of his break, but after the break, he's outplayed some players that he lost to. And so I think now he played Mosconi, he played well, he broke well in Mosconi. Obviously, that's 9-ball and this is 10-ball, but I think he's going to have that confidence advantage to really be able to get to the finish line. But I do agree it's going to be super close.
Yeah, well, I think that's a pretty fair assessment. We basically say it's a coin flip either way. I think the honest truth is, yeah, I want Danny to win because he's my friend, and but I want a really, really close match too. I want Chris to play well. And I just want an ultra competitive race to 100 against two up and coming champions. That's what I want. And I think we got it. So,
yeah, well, maybe you and I can bet a beer on it. I'll take Chris. You take Danny. Yeah, we'll bet a beer on it, because I'm excited to be at Piazza's. Tony's a fabulous player. He's kind of under the radar. Not a lot of people know about him. Just because he's more of a gambler and not really a tournament player. But now having his own room, I'm super excited to go there and see it and hang out with Tony and see these two great players play. So tell us once again how folks can view the match, either in person or on the internet. How's it going to be streamed, that type of thing?
Yeah, sure. Thanks. So Piazza's in Aurora. That's right outside of Denver. What we're going to be doing, just simply because of the pandemic and everything else and the restrictions, is we're going to be limiting admissions to 50 people each day. And that'll be a paid admission into the space. But the good news there is 100% of that admission is going to be going to the players. They've had a horrible 2020. They didn't get to do anything. They didn't make any money. They didn't get to compete. And so those that want to come down and support for those 3 days, it's all going to those two. They're going to split it down the middle, and I couldn't be happier to do something like that. I'm hoping we fill it each day. I'm sure we will.
You have an incredible pool community up there in Colorado. I lived there for 4 years, you know that. And so I'm sure you will get quite a bit of support coming out for this.
I have no doubt. And, Tony is so excited to host it. We're so thrilled that he that he accepted it, and he was like, it was about a 10-second acceptance speech for him. He was like, whatever you want, you got it. Whatever you want, you got it. It was perfect.
That's awesome.
But for those that can't be here, for those that can't get in, we're not going to cut you out. It's not going to cost you a dime to watch it. We're going to do this with my friend Mike DeMarco and Ship the Cash. If you remember, he did the match that we did with Shane McMahon and Danny Olson. Yeah. He did. I think he did a wonderful job. He's a great broadcaster. It won't cost you a dime to see it if you want to watch it on the stream. So stay tuned for the details on the times and the time of day we're going to be streaming it and everything else. But so you can watch it for free, or you can show up and support the players, one or the other.
Well, awesome, Chad. Thanks so much for what you're doing for the game, getting these matches out there for people, and really elevating the sport and allowing these two young men, who I think are really what we need in pool, right? Good, clean, great role model type of guys to compete against each other in what should be a very competitive match. So thanks again for what you're doing. I'm excited to be a part of it, to be up there with you and do some commentating on it. So again, Aurora, February 5th through the 7th. Great matchup here. Thanks so much for bringing it to us, Chad. And this isn't going to be the last match you're going to bring to us, is it?
No, sir. We got a couple of big announcements coming in the next few days. So stay tuned for this is the first of 3 very, very big announcements. And I couldn't be more excited. And Joey, I got to tell you, thank you very much for being a part of this. I can't wait to see you in Denver. It's been a long time since we've hung out together. And I just can't wait to see you broadcast this with Mike DeMarco and Ship the Cash.
Awesome. Well, I can't wait either. I'll see you there, Chad.